Now, today's topic is actually a good one. It's something that has to do relating to the entire world economy, to the global economy, to the national economy. Hell, I want to bring it down to the local economy more than that. I want to bring it down to your business. You got it? It ain't going to be global. It's not going to be national. It's not going to be local. It's going to be right down to you and how you can make your real estate business continue to succeed and continue to rock and roll while we're going through the cycles of real estate. Let's back up a little bit. First things first, real estate cycles. Typically, there's 4 phases in the real estate cycle. I think we talked about this many months ago. There are typically four phases in the real estate cycle. Got it? And this goes back, my gosh, this goes back to the early 1900s. We've always kept track in history with real estate, and based on the real estate economy and the global economy and the national economy, we can just about predict when the next drop in real estate was going to be. Got it? Now, I'm going to call it drop for now so you understand what we're doing. We can predict when the next rise in real estate was going to come. We can predict when the next drop in real estate was going to come. But let's make sure we get our terminology correct. Got it? We get our terminology in order, right? Now we have 4 phases in the actual real estate cycle. Got it? 4 phases in the real estate cycle. I'm going to go up to this board just to explain it clearly. Got it? Here we go. Let's go here. Nice and easy. Over here we got where it says recovery. All right? We're going to start with recovery. Recovery is when, of course, the market, the real estate market, of course, is recovering. It's getting better. The word recovery, to get better, right? So the market at one point was down and now it's getting better. We got recovery. From recovery, when it comes to the real estate market and the cycle, it then goes into expansion. Now, the word expansion in general, does that sound like a great word or sound like a negative word? That's right, expansion is a great word. It's a fantastic word. So now we're really expanding. We're really getting, the locomotive is now getting its steam. It's popping, it's popping, it's going, it's going. It went from recovery, now it's gotten its full steam and it's rocking and rolling. We got here expansion. Now, the whole idea to make this real estate market balanced, to get it balanced, we want it at the very top. In a sense, we almost want it from the top here, what we call the peak, right in here to this next phase, which is stability. Stability, now that word sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds strong. It sounds like this is it, this is where it belongs. Stability. And that's where most of the magic happens, is stability. That's when we have enough inventory for buyers. Not too much inventory, not too little inventory. It's just enough so we like that balanced market. Got it? Of course, after stability, what happens? Typically in the real estate cycle, which has how many phases? That's right, 4. We then go into what we call oversupply. Now we have too much inventory, and then of course when we have too much of something and not many people want it, supply and demand. When we have a lot of supply and no demand in the real estate world, that leads to this funky word right here, recession. Now some of you remember this stuff. Some of you remember this stuff from 2007, 2008. All right, let's back up just a little bit in history, just a little bit. Early 2000s. What happened in early 2000s? Early 2000s, the market took a soft hit. It was very soft, almost unnoticeable. The market in early 2000s took a very small hit, but then it started to pick up speed. It was right in here, a soft recession. It was very soft. We didn't even call it a recession. It was soft, and then it started recovering. From 2001, 2002 to 2007, those 5 years, oh my goodness, it was rocking, it was rocking. I mean, this recovery expansion, it was almost full expansion. Typically you'll have your wave like this. You'll have your increase like this. This was a full-blown whoa, almost like a roller coaster when you first get on it. And it's ta, 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 ta. It was a fantastic time for homeowners, a fantastic time for investors who bought in the early 2000s. It was a fantastic time for real estate agents because there was so much activity popping, so everybody was able to get caught up in the game and make money. Most people look at this chart here and they say, okay, we got 4 phases of the real estate cycle. We got recovery, expansion, stability, recession. At the very bottom of the recession is what we call the trough. Got it? We got the trough down here, recession. And this is what happened in 2007, 2008. It got so bad that we almost called it a depression. What we did, we called it a recession. Got it? Now this is the general angle of real estate cycles right here. Now the purpose of us discussing this today is to see how and when is it a good time for a real estate agent to get involved in a new career of real estate. When is it a good time to get involved in a real estate career? Is it during this time? Is it during this time? Is it during this time? When is it a good time to you as an agent to get involved in the real estate world? I want to share something with you. When I was a young boy, my father used to tell me, my father used to tinker with cars. He was a pretty decent mechanic. And he used to tell me, he used to say, as long as there's cars out in the world, as long as we have automobiles, we will always need the services of who? Mechanics, right? Which is of course a true fact. As long as we have cars, we're going to need mechanics. forever and ever and ever, as long as we have cars. I believe the same thing with houses. As long as we have houses and people are living in them, we're going to need a doggone realtor to sell these things, or represent a buyer to buy these things. We're going to need somebody to take care of that transaction. So let's take a look at this. Any one of these cycles is going to require, or will have, a buyer who wants to buy or a seller who wants to sell. Hence, they need you. It doesn't matter which one we're in, they're going to need you. Does that make sense? I hope it does. They're going to need you. It doesn't matter what cycle, what phase we are in this cycle. Let me explain something though. You can't be too afraid or timid in jumping in when the market's soft during a recession. Let me share something with you. The recession hit the United States economy in 2007, 2008-ish, right in there. And it was a pretty drastic recession. I mean, it was pretty bad. During that time, it was so influential to realtors that many realtors couldn't make it anymore. They left the business. They left the real estate world and went out and got a 9-to-5 job because they just couldn't do real estate any longer. It was too challenging for them. Are you kidding me? Let's take a look at this. I want to analyze this just a bit from the realtor's point of view. Because if you're a realtor, you got to make a living. You still got to make a living with your craft, and your craft is real estate. This is your craft. How can you just walk away and get a 9-to-5 if this has been your bread and butter for years? When the market is dropping, right, or it's soft, which of course would be in this phase here or this phase here, is this a good time for buyers or is this a good time for sellers? This is a good time for buyers because buyers can get good deals on properties, typically. Also a good time for investors because they can be buyers and buy some properties and hopefully one day sell them during the recovery time. Ready? Here it goes. I'm putting it out there. Most agents want to work with a seller over a buyer. Why? Why is that? Well, because when you work with a seller, you're guaranteed commission once it sells. When you have a listing, which is working with the seller, and you have this contract, the RLA, and you are representing a seller, the minute this thing closes escrow, you're getting paid. Right? Yay, I got a listing. You're going to get paid in about 30 to 45 days once it's in escrow. When you have a buyer, you got to go find a house for sale. You got to compete with other buyers for houses. That can be time consuming. It could be a big question mark. Will this ever happen? You see, when it comes to listing, representing a seller, you're just about guaranteed. All you got to do is price it reasonably, wait for the offer, close the deal, you get paid. When you represent a buyer, it's kind of a question mark. I hope I can find them a home that accommodates them so that I can close an escrow. This is a question mark. This is just about guaranteed. This one, you can have a listing and be on vacation, and the listing itself is still trying to sell itself through the MLS, through advertising. This one, you could be as a seller's agent. You could be on the beach of the Bahamas, and the house is still listed on the MLS, and it's still listed out there in the internet, and you're still pretty much working. You have it a little easier when you're representing a buyer. You got to fill up your gas tank, get in a car, and take them around town for maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. It can be challenging. You see why most people want the listing, working with sellers? Let's go back to this chart here, to this graph. Ready? Here we go. Keep that in perspective. Sellers typically is what the real estate agents want. They want a seller. Keep that in mind. Let's go back to this real quick. Ready? Here we go. Stick with me. During this time frame here, I just told you, most of the time, the people who are involved in real estate when it comes to a oversupply recession are buyers looking for a good deal. They say, this is the time I can finally buy a house that's dirt cheap. Happened in 2007, 2008. Most of the houses were half off. Many of the houses at one point that were way up here in price and value dropped to half off. What a great time for a buyer. Yet the real estate agents were still going after the who? The real estate agents were focused still on these sellers. But there weren't many sellers. Because during this time frame in 2007, 2008, sellers were getting foreclosed on. Are you with me? Yet these real estate agents were consistent and persistent, and they were focused on getting that one seller that wasn't going to happen. So what did I do? My wife and I took a different angle. We looked at this and said, wait a minute, who has the advantage here with this phase of this real estate cycle? The buyer or the seller? And we realized it was the buyer. So we focused on buyers all day long. The buyers were loving this all day long. This was probably the best years of our real estate career because we were focused on the right group of people in real estate. We were focused with the buyers. Now, of course, when you have a recovery and an expansion, this is a great time for buyers or sellers. But typically it's a great time for sellers, right? Their values are increasing, they're going up and up and up. For an investor who owns property, properties are going up and up and up. Investors can eventually, if they want, they can try to time it, which is difficult, but they can try to time it and sell it at the very top, which is called the peak, and make all their money. Or anywhere in here, they'll make tons of money. Sell it anytime in here during this phase. And investors or sellers, can make their money. So this is when most real estate agents thrive and focus, is to get the sellers over here. But the minute it shifts to this side of the cycle, you got to think differently. You got to be analytical. You got to say, is it worth me going after the one rabbit when I got a whole bunch of other guys I can go after over here? You had a numerous amount of agents going after that one listing. When you had a whole bunch of buyers saying, will somebody please help me? And they both give commission. Are you with me? They both give commission when it comes to this. So the question goes, when is a good time as a real estate agent to get involved in real estate? During what phase of the real estate cycle? As long as we have cars, we're going to need mechanics. I'm here to tell you, as long as there's houses that exist out there, and people have their own reasons why they're buying or selling at each phase, we're going to need a real estate agent to provide that real estate service. Are you with me? Makes sense? It sure as hell does. One more thing to think about. Real estate cycles. Are they a for sure thing? Is it guaranteed that if we're at this stage now, that no ifs, ands, or buts, we're going to hit this stage here? And that when we're at this stage, is it no ifs, ands, or buts that we're going to be to this stage here? And if there's no ifs, ands, or buts, if we're at the recession, the next one after the recession will be the recovery phase. Are these phases guaranteed? Well, based on history, they are. The problem here is, can we predict when this is going to happen? Now, most people think it happens every 7 years, that a whole cycle happens every 7 years. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Sometimes it happens every 10 years, sometimes it happens a little less, sometimes it happens, it's hard to predict. But when it comes to your career, does it really matter? Does it really matter? No, because they still need you in either phase of the cycle. Do not fear what phase in the cycle we're in. Get caught up in your real estate career. Help people who need the help. Start off with your sphere of influence if I were you. People you know, people you love, people you like. Let them know what you're doing. Doesn't matter where you are here. But now you get it. Now you're slightly educated a little more as to what's going on when it comes to the real estate cycles.